Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. I'm in the studio with my man Steve. We have a big show ahead of you. We're excited. It's going to be a good one as always. Steve, how are you, my friend?
Shelton, my man, how are you today? Happy Sunday. How you doing?
I'm feeling jazzed up, feeling pretty excited, ready to rock and roll.
Good.
And have a good day. We have a pretty good show. A lot went on. Not too much has gone on since I last seen you, since we last spoke. Spoke on Friday a little bit. But we're going to break it down a little bit, go over some accountability, go over the first week of training for Florida Gators, go over what happened with Billy in his press conference, how that went. I broke it down on Friday a little bit, but you and I are going to unpack that some. Cedric Baxter, he's going to be committing soon. So we're going to break that down, see how he's doing. Also, too, we're going to unfold Arch Manning again. It's been too long since we haven't
heard that name in a while, and I think we need to go back to it.
Yeah, it's been a while, and then we're gonna talk about running back one room, going to the NFL, and then we have a special treat at the end of the show. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while now, and I'm excited to see it kind of come to fruition. I found this guy on TikTok. He's an incredible singer. The guy's going places. So he's going to come on and do a little show for us, sing a little bit, kind of spice it up, change it up a little bit, and break up the kind of the whole just sports thing and have it, again, it's a show, it's a family, we like to hang out and have a good time. So stay tuned for that, and we're going to have a good time. So, Steve, you ready to rock and roll, big dog?
Big boy, let's get at it. We got a good show for these guys. They've been chatting it up quite a bit in the Discord server this week. For anybody who's not already a member, my gosh, the family gets at it in the Discord server. So if you haven't already signed up, you're missing one heck of a conversation. Definitely a family. The more that we see this thing go, the more that we can see it kind of building itself around us. Not so much the other way around. So shout out to Cody. Sounds like the kiddo had a great first football game. Everybody who's been chatting it up with Shelton and I here over the last week or so. Good to have you guys on here. Good to keep chatting with you guys. And if you haven't joined already, definitely jump in there, man. We keep the communication going. Lots of chatter to be had.
And after the past week, the hell that I went through with reading the super chats, and what was made of my embarrassment. Steve has now taken the reins. He'll be reading all super chats from here on out. I will not be. I'm not taking accountability for those actions anymore. It's a little too much. So it's not. We're not doing that anymore. So welcome to the chat, boys and girls. Cody, Dominic, Daniel, what's going on, guys? Welcome. First things first. First order of business. We're going to talk about it. White Sox. So I saw this kind of get brought up, and I was trying to find out some more about it, and I finally was able to read more about it and kind of digress into this situation. White Sox. Like, what is this? What are we talking about? Well, so the White Sox is Billy has made it a thing for where all guys wear white socks. All the players through the practice. You can't come with blue socks, green socks, orange socks. You have to have white socks. And everybody, apparently, it's starting with accountability, which we're going to break into even further than that. But it was just, I finally found it. It's a kind of a funny little thing, right? It's just like, who cares? It's just socks, right? Why does it matter if it matches? But it's starting with that momentum or the accountability part of it. Look, we're all going to be matching. We're all going to come in as uniform and as a team, wearing white socks. I believe it was Gervon Dexter and Osiris Torrance who kind of talked about it during their press conference, where it was a thing like of importance, and they kind of laughed about it. But again, it starts with that, and the penalties part is a kind of a second part to that, a second notion where Billy went out and handed. And again, it's going to be a big discussion here about the whole Billy camp and what's happening. But I guess he went around and was handing out all of their penalties from the prior year, right, their last year, basically reviewing like, hey, here's what you did wrong, here's what you're going to prove. And a lot of the guys saying it was embarrassing of what they were like actually saw and how many times they messed up and made errors, etc. And so this got me thinking, right? This is kind of where the ball starts rolling. We're going to break this down a little bit. Steve and I to me, it seems like this should be happening all the time. For the fact that it's being written about and being spoke about, I know it's exciting, right? It's fun to see. And so this tells me two things. One was the lack of accountability and discipline that poor the last few years with Mullen, that any sign of it, we just get hooting and hollering about and we get excited about. Or is our reporting team on the 247 on 3 guys who cover and follow the Gators, are they, bored and just excited to write about anything and trying to kind of drum up some good news and some good press about Billy? Or is it that groundbreaking, right? Which one is it? And that's kind of what we're going to unfold. So, Steve, I'm going to let you go first, kind of unpack this compared to what's going on in your camp, and tell me, what do you think this is?
Sure. I mean, look, first and foremost, anyone who uses the term hootin' and hollering is always a number one in my book. I mean, I don't know if you can get more Southern than that term by itself. But look, I think we could see from some of the play on the Florida side last year. It felt like it didn't have direction. It felt like there was, just players that didn't have the discipline that you need to contend at the level that obviously, Florida wants to contend at, and Florida State as well. But that being said, look, I mean, you got a new coach coming in. These small details are what builds on the bigger picture. Being, Tom Coughlin, used to say at the Jaguars, if you're not 5 minutes early, you're already late. These little things start to build and they start to create a culture that not only the current players have, but then as new recruits come in that haven't even put on a pair of cleats yet, they understand what the culture is. And look, it may just sound like White Sox, right? But it's a bigger mindset than that. It's a commitment to a bigger picture and doing the little things, exactly, and holding each other accountable and doing the little things it takes to make yourself successful in a large level. Because if all you're doing is shooting for the star and shooting for the goal at the top, you don't know how many steps it takes to get there. And I think Billy's doing a good job with just some of the minutia that sounds silly on the surface level, but that's what's going to get you long term where you want to go.
Yeah, so something, I mean, again, I talked about it on the Friday little press conference when I came in here, and I talked about how we can learn a lot from Billy, is just seeing how this is unfolding and developing, because it's the mindset of, you can't put on white socks every day to be a unit, to be cohesive with everybody, then how can I expect you to have my back in the middle of war, right? I mean, I know it sounds like, well, just put my socks on, but you can't even wake up in the morning and throw on a pair of socks to match with the team. That's how little committed you are to this. And so you expect me to believe that you're going to be committed when the show's on and the lights are on? So it starts with that, and I think you really didn't, you kind of, politicked your way out of that. You didn't answer the question, Steve. I think it's more of, it's not that the On 3 and 247 is bored or whatever. I think it's been that lackluster of accountability and discipline for the past 4 years that it is that refreshing to see. And it's almost like we forgot what it was like, because I remember with watching the Mullen camp and just the games in general, it seemed like there was pockets of greatness that kind of just existed on the team, where it was their own little cliques, like in high school, right? It just felt very just multi-dimensional on who was on the field. It didn't seem like one team. And I didn't really care for it too much. I didn't think about it too much. I really never got too involved, but it definitely felt more disconnected than, let's say, like the 08 team, where it was just like, that's a unit, right? Like everybody just kind of seemed dialed in with one another. This, again, the last 4 years, I didn't mind. Like I said, the reason I didn't mind it, because we were winning games, we were doing well outside of obviously the last 2 years of the Mullen camp, but we were winning football games. We kind of felt like we were back. So I was like, who cares? Let the kids be themselves. I didn't mind it too much, because also Mullen was new. It was like the honeymoon stage. So we overlooked some of those things. But we realize now that was the cancer slowly starting to build and grow, that obviously has now put us into the situation where the best players on our team are transfers, right? Our best O-line, Torrance, transfer. Arguably our best wide receiver, which, I mean, I think it's a shoo-in. Obviously, he got the number 1 jersey, is Ricky, right? And then arguably would be obviously the running back room with Montrell Johnson be the number 1. All those are transfers. Now, that's not an issue, right? If you have back-to-back 5, top 10 recruiting classes, and then you have that on top of that, then you're killing it. But that transfer is making you worth something. So that's where, again, all of that kind of comes into play with the accountability part. So it's refreshing. Is it a big deal? Can it make a difference? I think yes. It's like I said, it starts at the bottom, and that's literally your feet, right? It starts from here and it comes up. So if we can get this part right, we get this part right, and so on. And it's the small W's. We had this too at work with Don, right? It's getting up in the morning, creating 3 things, the first thing that you're going to do every single morning, right? Whether it be you go for a mile run, you take a shower, and you write in a journal, right? And you create those habits. So when you wake up and you get 3 W's every single morning when you wake up, it's the whole making the bed mentality, right? You're getting a W as soon as you wake up. Putting those socks on and knowing that we're all synced up and in unison is getting the W from the rip. They're already 2 steps ahead of everybody else that's coming onto that field because we've already got a W today. And that's what it feels like where, the camp is headed. And it's very exciting for us.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Look, I mean, and certainly not to dance around the specifics of what Billy's trying to do there. But to answer your question about the reporting side of things, look, I don't know if that level of detail was there with Mullen. But for Florida, like, you've got a new coach, there's a new level of energy. You're finding things like, the White Sox and just these attention to detail pieces that are newsworthy. Were they there before? Maybe, but I don't think Mullen was exactly the best face for what the University of Florida wants to be. I feel like Billy is a representation of what Florida, the football team in the school, is and wants to be. I mean, he just seems like he's more of a genuine guy. So, like, it could be just that there's a new energy. It could be that there's more stories. Or it could just be that you're seeing somebody who's a little bit more genuine than your last coach who, after he left, comes to find out he wasn't probably the best guy, not only for the school, but maybe sometimes in general as a person, according to potentially some of the prior assistants.
So you're referring to the video?
Yeah, and I don't know how much to take of it, but man, that guy was passionate. He was super passionate about it.
He was referring to kind of how the Mullen camp left the assistant coach situation, but again, it's obviously it's like the nasty ex relationship, the nasty ex girlfriend. It was obviously a disaster, but again, the whole White Sox and the penalties thing, it's good, it's cool, it's exciting to see, it's great to see it. Again, like the shoe throwing incident, right? That's been a big thing that we constantly talk about, we constantly are reminded of. It's stuff like that, right? That at the time. Again, I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't even mad when it happened. Like the young side of me enjoys that excitement, enjoys that the fieriness in a player to grab a shoe and throw it across the field, right? But I also know that lacks discipline, it lacks accountability, because you have to know that if I do this, it's going to hurt myself and the team, right? As much as like it's who cares, it's not a big deal. There's rules in place. You have to follow the rules, and if you have discipline and you're all wearing white socks, that shoe throw doesn't happen. As crazy as it sounds, but I look, we're gonna have penalties. There's gonna be errors, but I can almost guarantee. I'll bite my tongue if I'm wrong here, but I can almost guarantee with a team that they haven't even, this team that's here hasn't been recruited by Billy or the coaching staff, right? So they've got to come in and win these guys all over again and create a whole new standard. So there's definitely going to be penalties and errors and mistakes. I totally get that. But that's what we have to be focused on. That's how we judge this coming year, right? Where are the penalties? Not necessarily on wins and losses, right? It's the discipline and the accountability on the field, because again, none of these kids were recruited by these coaches. So they're having to learn them in a matter of, 8 to 9 months, learn and win them over in 8 to 9 months, right? They didn't recruit them based on what they thought. They're being dealt with it. So everybody is going to be held accountable, right? On both sides, the players, how they're going to retrieve, and how the coaches respond to that as well. So it's going to be fun to watch. And again, I think that's we as fans, and we keep preaching this, have to realize we have to look for the W's in the right places. It's not necessarily going to be on the scoreboard where the W is going to be, right? It's going to be on the field, on the reactions, on how they carry themselves through wins and losses, how they're handling themselves in pressure situations with penalties, false starts, unnecessary pass interference calls, right? That to me is where I'm going to be focusing on, especially game one, 100% game one. Obviously, we all want a W. And I think those things are going to help win the W, right? Lack of, cutting down penalties, cutting down false starts, cutting down pass interferences, cutting down just dummy mishaps in general are going to lead us to having the better option of winning. But that's, to me, is going to be the focus for this year.
Yeah, look, and there are 2 types of penalties, right? And you can have a penalty where you just physically get beat by a guy and you've got to hold him in order to keep him from crushing your quarterback. And so there's a holding penalty, but you just got beat, right? Like this guy just beat you on the play. That's different than, if you pick up some kid's shoe and you chuck it 60 yards down the field. That's a mental error. That's a mental breakdown. Sometimes in football, you are going to get beat on a play, and the only way to break it up and the only way to potentially stop something catastrophic from happening, like potentially your quarterback getting blindsided or getting beat on a route that leaves a guy wide open, is to either interfere or hold. Sometimes penalties are a necessary part of the game to stop something larger from happening. It's not those penalties that I think that Florida needs to be focused on. I think it's the ones where there's a decision-making component involved. Did you make the right decision in that scenario? And that'll be really, if just kind of looking at the White Sox concept and is the discipline there, is the accountability there. I think you got to separate those two, right? I mean, if it's a false start penalty in a raucous environment, maybe the guy couldn't hear or didn't catch the snap count.
Sure.
Different than something else. But I mean, like, they're two different things. You can kind of separate them if you're watching football. If you keep up with football enough, you definitely know the difference between whether or not you took that extra 2 steps as a defensive end to hit the quarterback when you didn't have to. Those are mindset penalties. There's difference there, but I would keep an eye on that.
Pass interference, obviously, like those penalties, like what you're saying is like that sometimes isn't necessarily a mental decision. It's look, it's bang bang, and you got the short end of the stick. I get that. False starts, it just depends. I'm 50-50 on that. I get what you're saying. Those are tough. That to me is discipline and accountability.
At home, it's discipline. And like, if you're in front of 100,000 fans,
they're going to happen, right? It's inevitable, but it's the range and how many times it's happening, and do you allow the one to lead to 2 to 3 more, right? It's being able to check it and get it locked in order and learning from it quickly. Having the the memory of a goldfish. Forget about it. Let's move on. It happened. I mean, not necessarily even a goldfish, because you want to remember that it happened, but you want to be able to learn from it and grow. And I think that's where we've struggled over the last 4 years, is that it felt like the team would kind of almost just hang on to it, and it would just carry the stench through the rest of the game. So, look, I think losing to teams like South Carolina and UCF, you lose to those games. You lose those games and to those teams because of that. There's no reason why Florida should be losing those games. Talent-wise, we had it all. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, especially with Dameon Pierce. The guy's balling out in the NFL right now. And I think that we just – look, man, I don't know. I'm ready for the season to start, because I feel like it's a lot of talking. It's a lot of what-ifs and a lot of what's going to happen with Billy, and it's just a lot of talking right now. And we're just got to wait. Everything looks good. Everything sounds good. Everything feels good. But because I was going back and looking at the Mullen stuff, and we all felt the same way when Mullen first came in, right? It was just that honeymoon stage. So it's just, I'm ready to get the ball going. We've talked about it for so long now. I feel like it's just like I'm just beating that horse.
This is the worst time of year. Worst time of the year.
Yeah. It's
right there for you.
Yeah, like now we can see them practicing, right? We're talking about it more. Guys are kind of having breakthrough, like Devin Moore's breaking through on the defensive side. Lorenzo's getting a lot of praise. We're going to break that down to the running back room. Who do we think is going to be the guy? Justice Boone's is exciting, doing well. There was a thing where I saw too. Again, how the players are being bought in is that one of the players acted out, and Justice kind of snapped. It was like, hey, we don't do that, man. We expect better. So the players are being bought into it. Another thing that I heard that I love is that Billy is changing these guys' locker around. So they're having to get to know everybody, right? We're building a unit. We're building one. I don't know how many people saw us too. We've talked about it a little bit, but the offensive linemen, their hats all say 5 equals 1, right? 5 guys make 1 unit. So he's doing that. And then also too, he's having guys room with different players so they get to know one another. So it's just, I don't know, man. It seems like things are in a really good place. He surrounded himself with a great coaching staff from what I could hear so far. It's going to be interesting to see how he holds everyone accountable, Billy, when it's time, right? In the middle of the game, something like this happens. How is he going to react? I think this is where Mullen struggled. Mullen was not great on holding everyone to the same level, same standard. If someone overreacted, he would almost kind of give them a pass. And this is where it's tough, right? Like, how do you hold AR to the same standard as like a freshman like Justice Boone? You know what I mean? Like, where's the line at? And so that's where I think the coaches are going to have a hard time of how do we hold these guys to the same level of consistency of accountability? That's going to be interesting to see as well.
Yeah, I agree. Look, the one thing I think that came back to bite Mullen for the most part was that I feel like just watching, and look, this is an instinctual from having watched the season for you guys unfold last year, is that it almost felt like he gave commitments to players that player was his guy, right? Like, we'll just take Emery. Emery could have a horrible game. AR could come in there, throw a dime, run an 80-yard play, and it was almost like, well, that's okay. But Emery's still going to trot back out there. I felt like Mullen had made commitments to players that regardless of how well the person behind them was doing, that's
what I mean by the accountability, right? It felt like it was like you don't have to be held to this standard because you're so-and-so and you're doing these things. But, and that's where the team gets separated. And that's where the click comes in.
To your point, Billy hasn't recruited any of these kids, so he hasn't made. I don't think he hasn't made these commitments, right? He hasn't had the opportunity to maybe just say, no matter what happens, you're my guy. That dynamic will make an entire team better because you know that you have to compete. You know that you have to win the play. You know that you have to stay consistent game after game after game. And I don't think Mullen had that level of accountability there.
Something too that we've talked about multiple times of kind of like how you and I, how we manage and how we think, right? With the Jimmy Smith situation versus a Tom Coughlin situation, right? Where Jimmy is more of a that's Emmett. He eats. He does what he wants, right? Like, these guys are studs. They can come in and do it. They've earned their right. Where Coughlin's like, I don't care if you're a 5-year veteran with 3 rings or a rookie, you're running. Right? And there's a balance. It's honestly a skill and an art to be able to manage both ways. It's not easy, right? You can do the Jimmy Smith way and just like, look, if you're a star, you can act like a star. You can act like a prick. You can do what you want. And I'm going to make it work for this team. We're still going to win. Obviously, he won. Coughlin was not that way, and he still won. So it's just hard to do both, to be honest with you. And I think that's why that coaching job is so lucrative and why the guys, they're signing fat paychecks, because look, either which you have to choose one of them. You can't find the gray area. It has to be, we're all in on like this. This is the culture. Here's what we're doing, or it's going to be a boot camp style. And it feels like we're headed towards more of the boot camp style of things versus where I feel like Mullen felt like it was more of like a showboat freestyle. We're winning games. I don't care what you do kind of thing. And that's how things can also fall apart very quickly. Now, I do believe that where the route that we're headed now, it takes a lot longer for things to build because guys are gonna have to adjust and be able to realize, like, look, it's a team. You're not a superstar. I played golf with Judd and Shane Edge today, and we talked about that. Where Edge, he was like, they're obviously their stories were incredible, but he talked about how there was a guy who cut him off one time. It was him and Judd waiting in line, and Judd didn't really know Edge, and Edge was brand new, freshman. Just came in, and this big lineman guy, they go, absolute dick. I don't know the guy's name, but I was like, wow, like there's guys that are assholes. He goes, like, absolutely. They just thought they were bigger than the world. And I go, even now? He goes, absolutely. He goes, 90% of them, great dudes, but there's still 10% that just think they're bigger than the rest of the team. That's just always on every team. And I mean, you hear about it, but it was just kind of interesting to hear them say that. But the guy that cut him off in line, and Edge went up to him and tapped him on the shoulder and goes, what are we doing here? Like, what's up, bud?
Line's back here, feller.
Yeah. So it was. It's cool to see, just kind of, just hear that, like that insight of like, man, people are just there's always going to be dickheads, no matter what situation, no matter who's in charge. Because obviously we know how Spurrier ran camp, right? And there were still guys that thought they were bigger than life itself. So that's something you're always going to have to work with and deal with. But yeah, so we got a few more things to go over. Really quick though, speaking of Edge and Judd Davis, I hung out with him today, and I got the picture, guys, that we talked about. I don't know if you guys have seen the interview yet, but we interviewed with Judd and Judd Davis. So this is where he did the plunge here, where they knocked heads and then fell back, the Nestle plunge. He told us a great story about it. They signed it here, Judd and Edge. I saw them today, hung out with them. But what we're going to be doing is we have 2 of them. I have 2 copies. This one says to High Top Sports. They signed this for us, for Steve and I. But this one, we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to give it away to one of our members on Wednesday. So if you guys are not a member and want to be a member to earn this pretty, it's a classic. I mean, it's a throwback.
That's so great.
Yeah, for a Gator fan, it's just kind of a pretty cool piece of memorabilia that I don't think really is like kind of going around like that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, how often do you get two studs, you know what I mean, kind of doing that in that type of field? So, meaning punter and kicker. So, if you're already a member, then you're already in. But you guys will be giving that out on Wednesday because I think it's just too cool. And I'm glad they did that for us. What's that?
I said hit the like buttons.
Oh, hit the like button. Cody's like, I need that. Yeah. So if you're a member, you guys already have pretty much your information. If I don't, I'll make sure that I get that from you. But moving on,
the story behind it makes it even better. Like, look, two guys butting heads and falling backwards is hilarious. But when you hear the story of how it all unfolded, that picture just becomes a million times better than what's on the actual celluloid or whatever that is that pictures are taken on now.
Yeah, I'm gonna frame it. Dominic said frame it. I 100% will frame it. So don't you guys worry. Moving on to Cedric Baxter, 4-star running back stud. He is committing August 10th, 3 days from now. It doesn't look too good for us, boys. Okay, it's not looking promising. On3 has him at 75% to Texas. 247 has 100%. We're in second. We're in a close second at 7.2%. But it doesn't look good for us. Now, I kind of see why. I mean, obviously, we've got Treyon and Trevor. There's already the room's a little thick. Doesn't mean we obviously can't get more. But I don't know, man. The Texas blood right now is hot. Everybody wants to be playing for Texas. So I get it. They just got Peyton Kirkland as well. I mean, things are trending offensively wise very well for them. I'm pretty sure they've already landed a 4-star running back, if not a 5-star, and a wide receiver. So, I don't know, man. It just feels like everybody's headed. It's either there or Miami right now. That's what it feels like, to be honest with you. So, he's from Orlando, Florida. It feels like it should be a shoe-in. But it's tough, man. 6'1", 215. Boy's big, bro. Boy's big for a freshman. That's a big boy.
We talked about that off cast. I mean, coming in straight from high school, 6'1", 215, when they put you in a high-level college conditioning program, a meal program, just the workouts and everything that goes with that. There's no shot that this kid doesn't add another, 10 pounds, 8 pounds of muscle. So already coming in at 6'1", 215 is a pretty sizable kid. And to your point, it looks like Texas already has a 5-star wide receiver out of Louisiana in Derek Williams. And they've got another 4-star running back that came out of Texas who's also coming in. He's a little bit more of a lighter guy.
Oh yeah, Trey Wisner. Okay, so he's not as much of a. They're not even going to be. He's not even going to be a threat to Cedric at all. Then, so it's the 5-star wide receiver. That's why I got confused. So I mean, look, 5-star quarterback, 5-star wide receiver, and they've got a 4-star receiver who's close to being a 5-star. It's. Man,
which, as we've seen, these numbers can seize in either direction. Yeah, these guys could all be 5 stars.
This class is number 1 ranked nationally, 25, 39, 58, 70. I mean, my goodness. And I want to say Cedric's up there too for the ranking nationally. He is 28th. My goodness. Could you imagine?
28th nationally, number 1 running back overall coming out of Orlando. And look, this is one thing I will say about Texas, and I've followed recruiting for a long time. Texas is that they just bring kids in, and they always have. It's just been a recruiting machine out there. The fact that they haven't won more,
crazy, dude, crazy.
It's insane. It's another one of those teams that just seems to hemorrhage talent.
I think we talked about Oregon recently, but nobody. So the difference between Oregon and Texas is Oregon at least sends talent to the NFL. Texas hasn't even sent talent to the NFL in a very long time. They haven't had a running back drafted in, I think there's 3 years is what I looked up, 3 to 4 years. Yeah, I could be wrong, but from what I was reading, that's what it seemed like. So they haven't sent talent to the NFL in a very long time. I feel like, I mean, with that Thibodeau from Oregon, who looks like I saw a video where he was kind of struggling a little bit at camp. But I don't know, man. This is where I've been defending the NIL of not being a money bag situation. But when Judd came on and basically just laid it all out, saying like, yeah, they just circle around a room who can bring the biggest bag. I don't know what to think anymore. It's like. It's just frustrating. It's like we're just sitting here waiting for somebody just to sign the check, and then that's when we'll know what's going on. So, I don't
Yeah,
know,
to your
boys.
point, it looks like look, Ricky Williams, Cedric Benson, if I'm not mistaken, rest in peace, Cedric Benson, Priest Holmes.
Those are old.
But yeah, these guys are old. These guys are old. Jamal Charles, I think, is probably the most
Jamal Charles, bro. Talk about a fantasy just God.
God,
Just
golly.
he could carry a team, my boy.
My goodness, he
I
was
love
just a
that guy.
beast.
Bro, what about
Yeah.
hey, did you see the kid, bro? My man's been doing a lot of this offseason. Did you see him? Did you see?
Can you be more specific, please?
Did you see the guy that won me a fantasy football championship last year, Zeke? Did you see how fat he's gotten?
Oh, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Bro.
It doesn't surprise me at all. The guy went from a six-pack to a kegger.
Bro, buddy is
You got to pull it up, bro. You got to pull this up. That guy has just it's like, he got relationship fat. He was like single and ready to mingle in the NFL there for a hot minute, but now he's like married and like
yeah, I don't know if that was an old clip from I saw, but what I saw was like, my goodness, homeboy was looking thick. Let me see.
If not only him, but this one just shouldn't surprise anybody. But Leonard Fournette.
Oh,
camp.
Yeah,
It's just a cow. Now, look, Camp will shed 15, 20 pounds off of you, but I don't know what it is about these Louisiana guys, man. Like in the off season, these guys cannot stay in shape, and it's not like Cajun food has all that many calories in it.
Eddie Lacy.
How many calories can a crawfish have?
Yeah, I love it. Next thing is, so you guys have already started it in the comments per usual, because when Daniel stops by, Daniel Riviera back at it again. The shit talking ensues with Florida, Georgia. I can shit talk with the rest of them, but when you come off winning a national championship, like I don't really get into it right now with Georgia. That's like somebody trying to talk shit with me. Audra Wine just became a member. I thought you already were a member, Mama.
What's up, Mama?
Doubling up. She just resubmitted her subscription. But I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, the smack talk. So I can't talk smack to Georgia, guys. I love the energy in there, but it's like they're coming off a natty. Like we really have no matter the fact that the biggest thing is like the last time they won was like 80 years ago. Blah 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 blah. When someone tries to talk about the Braves, it's like, look, we're World Series champions. There's literally nothing you can say to me right now until this year's over and there's a new champion. You can suck it. So we've got really nothing we could say to Georgia. But Brendan Cox, he started it a little bit. Georgia posted a video from working out, and he commented on it saying,
If it's Audra again, I'm going to be amazed.
No, it's Cody. What's going on? Oh, it's 2 months. They got a free. Oh, congratulations for being 2 months. I'm not doing it, Cody. I'm not shouting that person out. Congratulations to you two for being a member for 2 months. Thank you, guys. On today. Well done, guys. Well done. The greens are flying in. Yeah. So it's fun to see. Cedric was talking a little bit of smack. Georgia, I think, threw some bows. Georgia was in there, kind of going back at it, talking smack to him. So it's fun. It's good to see. It's fun to kind of get the juices flowing. All of you guys have already started, but like I said, it's hard and he's obviously transferred from Georgia. He grew up in Georgia, so it's a little bit more of a personal blood for him to go in there and talk some smack. But we're getting close. But until I see us if we go out and we beat Utah, I promise you, Daniel Riviera is not going to hear the end of it. Okay, but I'm holding back the punches. I'll talk smack to FSU. I'll talk smack to A&M, Tennessee, Kentucky, South Carolina. Look, you guys got lucky last year. I'm not worried about you, but Georgia, dogs, bro.
Yeah,
dogs.
Georgia hasn't won one since '80, but they have played for 2 of them in the last 4 years. 3 years?
They've been heating up. They've been heating up.
Let's not lie. They knocked Jalen Hurts. Well, Jalen Hurts was taken out of the game because Georgia's defense had him figured out. It wasn't until a kid named Tua Tagovailoa came in there and they had one missed blown coverage in overtime.
They would have been. Yeah, true that.
That was it. I mean, at halftime, that game felt like it was over. And that would have been 2 national championships in probably 3-4 years. I can't remember but it was in that realm. So hey, hats off to Georgia, man. They're killing it. Kirby knows what he's doing, and he's quietly confident. you don't hear a whole lot of noise out of Georgia. They just come out there and kick your ass. And that's the worst kind of team because you're like, well,
it's like Bama.
We don't know if they're going to be
Bama.
good or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last year was a rebuilding year. Like, oh, great.
Yeah. Real quick, though, for our 2-month-long members. Thank you, guys.
Whoa. Dominic asked for my button. Dominic.
No, he did not. No, he just said button. He didn't ask for your button, Steve. Shut up. So Arch Manning, we talked about it a little bit, but I looked into some more and saw something, and it was interesting on why Arch chose Texas. So it's been a month since he's chosen Texas. We've had a chance to simmer down, kind of break it all down, think about it for a little bit, look into it. Let's remove the money aspect out of it, okay? Because I think anywhere he goes, he was getting paid. Let's just toss that to the side. Why do we think Arch went to Texas now that we're a month in?
That's intriguing. Look, his uncle followed his grandfather and went to Ole Miss. Okay. His uncle set his own path and went to Tennessee.
Okay.
So this time around, I think it was his turn to maybe take his own path. Texas is it. Obviously, they've got a good coach, an offensive-minded coach in Sarkisian, and they're building very well around him. Austin, Texas is not a horrible place to live and go to college by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot for Texas to offer. And it wasn't about money. Kids got all the money in the world.
Okay. So something that, again, this brought me to my new attention was, so I found it weird he would leave the SEC, but if Texas is coming to the SEC, so that crosses off that box there. The other part was Bama was obviously an option, but Bama plays Ole Miss pretty competitively, so I don't want to go to Bama and play against a family tradition, right? Where it's a rivalry, right? Georgia and Tennessee is a pretty thick rivalry. Texas doesn't have any of that with any of them, so he gets to go kind of, again, the legacy part, but he gets to play in the SEC, and he's not having to go and battle against the uncles either. So,
sure,
kind of an interesting.
That's a good way to look at it. I like that.
Kind of an interesting take. So, I mean, that's why I didn't choose Florida, guys, because Tennessee. That was it. If we didn't have a rival with Tennessee, we probably would have had Arch. That's how close it was.
It's down to the wire, baby.
Down to the wire. Billy Bags was there. He was ready to rock, but it was like, yeah, sorry, you guys play Tennessee every year, and it's
scientific. This is a scientific deduction that we've come up to here. That the reason that he went to Texas is so he didn't have to hear any fodder or back and forth between his uncles for playing Tennessee and Ole Miss. That's 100% scientifically proven as of today.
You're welcome.
That's why they get the insider news.
So we're gonna do one last little arguing. We're gonna do some NFL talk, and then we've got our concert, which we're really excited about today. Trey Lewis, we're gonna on here in just a minute, but we want to go since again it's a weird time. We've like 3 weeks of just kind of just speculation, just waiting to see what's gonna happen. So I wanted to break down the running back room. I think that's, to me, is a room. The wide receiver room is wide open. The running back room, there's a little more of a like, hey, who do we think is going to get it? So who do you think the running back one is going to be for Florida? Is it going to be Montrell Johnson? Is he a shoo-in? Is it going to be Naquan? Is he going to come back healthy as a horse and just run these cats over? Is Lorenzo going to be a surprise? Where are we at, Stevie? What do you think? What's your take?
Look, I'm going to go. I mean, look, it's head over heart, but we're both huge Lorenzo fans here. So I'm going to go with Lorenzo. Look, I mean, we know what kind of shape he's in.
Wait, you said you're going with head over heart or heart over head?
Heart over head. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. So I'm going with Lorenzo. I know he's in great shape. I know the kid's passionate. He loves football. He's been working out all off season. I know he couldn't keep up with you at the film that we did in the gym, but I think he's made the turn at this point. He's going to get more snaps. I do like Montrell only because he knows Billy and he knows the offense pretty well. But I'm going to go with Lingard. I like him being the at least the most snaps. Maybe not the starter per se, but I think that's situational.
Okay, good take. Yeah, I think it's going to be it's going to give the Browns vibe with the Hunt and Nick Chubb situation where it's going to be like a 1-2, just like I don't really care, it's just who's tired or I go. I think Montrell's the bigger one out of the three. He's a little bit thicker. You can watch him in the spring game. He's good at the goal line situations to me. Now, I think where Lorenzo's going to excel is in the catching game, because the guy's quick. Obviously, he wants to play on the kick return, which because he can catch balls, he wants to hit somebody. So he's definitely aggressive and violent. So I think it's going to be between those two guys. I would love to see Naquan do well too. He's the smaller of the three, height-wise and weight-wise. So he'll probably come in and get a few, but I think Lorenzo's going to make a bigger run than people realize. He's getting a lot of love in the camp thus far, but I think just with the size factor, I think Montreal's going to always have that goal line stand, in my opinion. So if we're scoring a lot, we're going to see a lot of Montreal, but if the wide receiver core is thin and not doing what it needs to be, I think that's where Lorenzo and Naquan are going to be able to expand more because of the catching game. So it kind of like a Tony Pollard situation. That's why he's going to take Zeke's job, because Zeke's fat.
So great. That was a terrible trade by me last year in our
No, it was
draft.
good. It was good. $2 from Daniel Riviera.
What's up, Daniel?
There he is. Love the show while I drink my Bud Light. Steve,
Daniel, we gotta get you moved on, buddy. Like,
you gotta show him some love.
That's for rookies, man. That's for rookies. We're on platinum at this point.
a tall boy to boot.
Well, how do you? I don't think you can buy him any other way.
Cody asked about the fantasy football league. So what we're going to do on Wednesday is we're going to I'm pretty sure we're set. I don't think, unless somebody else submits it, but I think we're right at the perfect amount of numbers of people that are playing. I think it's 14, which is great. We're going to pick out the names out of a hat for who's going to have the order. And then it's going to be a Friday night. I think like August 27th or whatever that weekend is, probably Friday. Because Saturday, Sundays are going to be busy for everybody with doing other drafts and football and all that jazz. So we're thinking like a Friday night, we'll come on here and just hang out and do the fantasy football draft. So we'll finalize that over the next few days and get that out there. But I just want to let you guys know who are looking and excited about the fantasy football draft. We got a few minutes here, Steve, before we got Trey Lewis on. So let's break down the NFL really quick, Steve.
Yeah, it looks like we've already even had it pop up there in the chat. But look, Kareem Hunt, the running back for the Cleveland Browns, we're not even a week into camp, has already said that he wants a trade. He wants a trade. It could just be fodder. He did come to camp today. He ran drills, sprints, 40 yards, did everything that they asked him to do. But look, every time you see an NFL player put his name out there and say, I want to trade, it doesn't take that long for something to start happening. Now, for Cleveland, they have Nick Chubb, who has been great for them. But, Kareem Hunt leaving, if that were to happen, that's a huge hit to the depth chart for Cleveland, considering that you don't have a quarterback either for unbelievably only 6 weeks. But that being said, so we'll see what happens with Kareem Hunt. And look, again, we're talking about having some fantasy football drafts coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Anybody who plays fantasy outside of just this league knows that it's football draft season. So Saturdays start to get a little congested. You got to start moving some stuff around. So that'll be interesting to watch how things play out there. Chicago. The Bears, they've got Justin Fields out there, young quarterback. The Bears think that they've got their franchise guy. They think that they can see a future with Justin Fields. Right now, they are down 3 of their top 4 wide receivers. They just lost N'Keem Harry in a practice today. Did not look good. He could not put any weight on his ankle at all. They are labeling it as a quote unquote severe injury. And that's without, any of the, x-rays or MRIs or anything like that coming back just yet. That's just from a visual standpoint. And to kind of bring it back to what we just talked about with the running back room for Florida, the Texans are saying that Dameon Pierce has an opportunity to establish himself as the number 1 running back going into the NFL season as a rookie. Now, I just want to point this out. Like, these names are going to sound familiar. These guys are veterans. They've been around for a little while. They've got some name recognition, but not a lot of flash. However, the running back room for Houston right now is Marlon Mack, Rex Burkhead, and Royce Freeman. those guys have had
Burkhead,
good
Steve.
years in the past. Burkhead. Well, look, hey, you ask the New England Patriots what Burkhead can do.
I mean,
if he's called into the right situation. So, but that being said, look, Royce Freeman had a couple of great seasons in Denver. Marlon Mack, he had a couple of great seasons in Indianapolis. So the fact that Dameon Pierce is coming out and putting himself as a rookie in the conversation with these guys tells you that, one, amazing talent, and two, what in the hell was Dan Mullen doing? It's so upsetting. If I'm a Florida fan, I'd be pulling my hair out right now.
It's trust me, we know it's brutal. But Kareem won a transfer, man, or won a trade. I mean, that's a dumpster fire up there in Cleveland. I feel bad for Cleveland. I mean, they're due. Cincinnati, the Bengals were able to dig themselves out of the hole. I feel like the Browns should at this point with all the draft picks they had. Something's wrong. Something is desperately wrong, and they need to figure it out.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about Cleveland off the cast, kind of going into this conversation, but I think it's the colors. I honestly think that nobody can.
I would rock a white jersey with the Browns with the orange strip. I would rock that all day long. Like a Baker Mayfield jersey. I love those things. I'd rock 100%.
Oh man, be honest with yourself. So here's what we're doing.
I
we're
would.
talking
I
about
would
whether
rock
or not
that.
you would either have to wear brown. Yeah, but you're talking about wearing white. That takes away the hideousness of their color combination.
I mean, Cincinnati's are brown. Or orange. Sorry, or orange.
Yeah, they're orange and black, but that's different. But they don't. Their predominant color isn't the name of the team either. It's like they're not the Cincinnati Oranges.
I mean, they're Bengals. Bengals are orange.
That's a reach, but okay. Either way, look, nobody looks good in brown, okay, and no one looks good in orange. So if you put those two things together,
Ricky Fowler looks phenomenal in orange. So you're wrong again.
I wasn't even reaching for the. Well, that's
Aren't FSU colors? Aren't they red and brown?
Red and brown. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Red and
brown. That's what it looks like.
That was more of a shot at you, Miami, and Clemson than it was Ricky Fowler.
Oh, the orange? I didn't even feel that. We got a super chat from Dominic. He says, "Whoops, wrong one." It says, "I want everyone's shoelaces when I win fantasy." I don't know.
I saw that in the Discord, and I didn't. But
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I can't wear my shoes if I don't have the laces.
I don't know what that means.
What am I going to barefoot? It's Florida. We wear flip flops here.
There he is. Hold on, we got Trey in his house. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the man Trey Louis. Hold on, Trey. I'm gonna get you in here, Bubba. Hold on. Let me get him in here really quick here. All right. There he is.
Hey, there we go. What's going on, y'all?
What is that? A Cowboys jersey? What is that?
It is. It is. So I have been watching this whole thing.
Oh, okay.
And I gotta say, Zeke is not looking too bad. Okay. I would argue with the fact that he's fat. He's looking pretty slim these days. Leonard Fournette, he's looking a bit chunky.
He is.
But Zeke, I think he's looking pretty good this year. We'll see.
Trey, I love me some Zeke, baby. So I hope he's not looking thick. I want Trey. I want Zeke to be dialed in. I made a big trade for him last year, so I would love for Zeke to be good. You're an Aggies fan too, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is Trey Lewis. This is the man right here. He's got. Can you show him the mullet? Can you give us a?
Yeah, man. I'll give you a little rattle.
This is my boy right here. I came across Trey on TikTok. The guy has a voice of an angel. I'm not just saying that. And this is something I've been wanting to do for the show is have some guys on to perform a little bit and help build their brand and get them out there, especially when they're awesome and they sound really good. So Trey's going to sing a little bit for us, but we want to talk to you a little bit, Trey. Kind of tell us about who you are, where you're from, and what do you do for a living? Because I would love to hear how you describe it.
All right, man. I got you. So, dude, I'm a whole package to unwrap. I was born and raised in League City, Texas, I guess you could say. I come from a divorced family. My mom and dad divorced when I was too young to remember. rough times with the pops, man. We didn't really get along. I ended up moving to it's my mom's house in Santa Fe, and that's where I started. My journey in Santa Fe, and then that was about 7th grade, so that was midway through junior high, and then man, I went into high school, and not a whole lot of people know about it. But Santa Fe High School is a place where a pretty big school shooting happened. 10 people were killed, and it was pretty wild. I was actually in the room where it happened at. And so, like, I kind of suffer from a slight PTSD type deal. But, like, from that day on, I've always been positive about everything, anything crazy like that. So that's where I get my positivity from. I'm always in a good mood. I feel like I've seen closest thing to death, and so, like, I try to leave it each day, as best as I can. And this whole TikTok thing, I didn't even like TikTok. I never got on TikTok. I downloaded it because I work for a mattress firm, which we'll get into that in a little bit. And it gets really boring, long days, and I sit there and I scroll through my phone, and I ended up getting on TikTok. My girlfriend, she's a huge fan of my voice. She always has been since day one. And I always thought I could just kind of sing, more like a karaoke thing. But I recorded it one day in Mattress Firm, and I was like, dang, Mattress Firm kind of has good acoustics in here. So I posted a video.
Sling us a spring, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I posted a video, and nothing happened. I posted more. And then one just blew up, dude. I mean, blew up. I had Clay Walker reaching out to me. Chris Stapleton reached out to me. TV opportunity that I'm doing, they reached out to me. Man, it was pretty cool. But yeah, no. So currently, I work for a mattress firm. I'm not a top salesman or anything like that, but I do sling some spring every now and then, or
I love it.
Foam.
Just keeping it. Hey, I'm not the best there. Yeah, I'm not the best.
Yeah. I'm not. So the people love me, man. But like that's what I got going for me. I'm straight up with them, and I'm honest with them. And I mean, I give them what I can give them, and they appreciate that sometimes, but sometimes they don't.
I'm not the best.
That's awesome.
I love it.
I'm a better singer than I am a salesman. I'll say that.
Okay.
I will say this. I am absolutely going to say to somebody probably tomorrow that I will sling some spring. That is unbelievable.
That's a whole duty.
So Steve hasn't heard you yet, Trav. I've been saving you. I've been keeping you tucked away.
Okay.
But look, man. So just so you guys know, Trey's gonna come on and sing a little. Are you gonna Broken Halo? Is that what we're doing tonight?
Yeah. Let's do it. We'll do
all right, broke
thing.
it. Yeah, the whole thing. I mean, whatever you feel good with, man. I mean, whatever you want to rock and roll with. But this, but ladies and gentlemen, look, I'm excited for this. This guy can sing a note. So whenever you're ready, big dog, take us away.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get some lyrics up. Okay. Baby dog, I need some lyrics.
I love it.
Here we go. All right.
Look at her. She's ready to rock too.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she got it hooked up. Broken Halos.
You better learn these things quick, big dog.
I know.
Everyone's excited, man. Everyone's pumped up.
You the GOAT. All right, let's go.
This guy right here. Let's go.
I practiced this before I came on, so no excuses. Let's go.
Me too.
Right. Seen my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly. They've all gone wherever they go. Broken halos that used to shine. Angels come down from the heavens just to help us on our way. Come to teach us, then they leave us and they find some other soul to save. I've seen my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly. They've all gone wherever they go, broken halos that used to shine. Broken halos that used to shine. That's what I'll do for y'all right there.
Woo!
I muted myself. Oh my gosh, I got goosebumps. Everybody, look, I gotta read the comments for you. Look, next Luke Combs. Hold on. What the fuck just happened?
They're going crazy.
Oh shit. Get it.
That's the best. Yeah, man.
Just shocked faces. Didn't expect that. Fishing football. I'm gonna go buy some more cows. Didn't expect this. Oh my, great voice. I'm late. Where did this kid come from? Mike Litteris, super chat. He said that voice aroused me. Mr. Nobody says that he's wet. Oh man,
that's what I like to hear, man.
Yeah,
I bet. Like, who would not want to hear that as a compliment to your voice? Like,
It's beautiful, man.
I tried right out.
Liz says absolutely incredible. Caitlin says goosebumps. Adrian says wow, great voice, kid. Look, man. Yeah, that was, dude. Oh God, that was awesome, dude. I loved it. Thank you so much, man, for putting that on and coming on here with us tonight, man.
Hey, for sure, dude, man. I mean, I feel pretty cool up in here today, dude. I feel so cool. I think I'm gonna put on my Balenciaga sunglasses. All right, these ain't no joke. These ain't no joke right here.
Oh my
God. Look, they say men shouldn't wear designer sunglasses, and to that I say no. This is where it's at, man.
No, you can't tell Trey nothing.
Dude, Joe Burrow has the coldest sunglass game in the league.
Joey Ice, baby.
And exactly. I'm trying to be the Joe Burrow of country music. Let's just go to Super Bowls, man.
Dude, we got a super chat from Connor. He says, W mullet, W voice. CC Boy says, incredible. Keep doing these songs. Daniel says, not bringing my girl around you, bro.
They better not, dude. I mean, I got one, bro, but she's dangerous too.
Girl stealer right there, baby.
Oh my gosh. That was incredible. Liz wants to know,
look, that was amazing, Trey. This is coming from somebody who hears all the time that great voice. Mine, however, cannot do what yours just did. So, man, hats off to you. You don't have to take your hat off again. We've already seen the shake. Man. We don't want the girls to go. We don't want the girls to get wetter than they already are, my man. But that was amazing.
It's the rattle, Steve. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Liz wants to know: do you write your own music?
No, so I do, but like I just discovered I could sing decently, like maybe 6 months ago. But I have a little bit of music, nothing fancy. I feel like if I could get with a music writer,
sure,
he could kind of tweak it up and make it sound like something I could sing. You know,
okay.
As positive of a guy as I am, I do like to listen to some sad country music. You know, there's just nothing better than it. But so a lot of my stuff kind of comes off as sad. But again, I feel like if I could get a songwriter up there, they could tweak it up to make it, you know, more my style.
When we spoke before, you said you want to be like also like the Post Malone of country.
Oh hell yeah, dude! So like without the tats.
Okay,
but
no, just like the vibe.
The vibe, exactly, man. Everybody's happy to see Post when he walks in the room, and he's a diehard Cowboys fan like me, so I don't see why not.
Hey, Trey, we got a $2 super chat from my wife. She goes, "Give us another rattle."
One more rattle, dude. I'll do a backwards rattle. That way y'all can see it. Hold on.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
God, I love this kid, dude. So I've been trying to chit chat with Trey for the last few days here, and we had our own little moment together. He was incredible. Now I got the chat screaming for encore. Trey, can you give us another one? I told you we're kind of see how it goes, big dog. Can you give us another song?
How it goes? Yeah. So the one that made me blow up.
Okay.
was
Okay.
was you should probably leave. So I'll hit you. I'll hit y'all with a lick of that real quick. Oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah, for sure.
I know it ain't all that late, but you should probably leave. I recognize that look in your eyes, and you should probably leave. Oh, 'cause I know you, and you know me, and we both know where this is gonna lead. Want me to say that I want you to stay, so you should probably leave.
I'm done here.
Dude.
My wife. I got to make sure my wife's
Yeah,
not on
my
her way
wife's
out
on
there
here.
right now.
She was sitting in super chats like an OnlyFans asking for more rattles and shit. Hey, get her off.
Man, I'm locking my doors tonight. My door.
I told him, I was like, because he obviously the mullet takes some time. I was like, bro, the mullet is now, it's a staple. You can see what I did there? Stapleton, staple. You can,
There you go.
you can never get rid of it. I love it.
No, dude, I don't think I ever will. I need to go get it trimmed up. Autumn
Careful.
over there at Sports Clips.
Don't mess with perfection, Trey.
Sports
Don't mess
Clips.
with
No,
perfection.
No,
Yeah,
Sports
no.
Clips does it right. They had real quick, like low key. I would go get my mullet trimmed up a Sports Clip. They had an entire. The lady told me they had an entire what is it called? Like a camp, a training session for cutting mullets when they saw that mullets are coming back in the season. They know what they're doing there. Yeah, I promise.
I love Sports Clips. It's a whole vibe over there.
All right.
It's
I
a
trust
whole-
it. I trust it.
It's a whole vibe.
Litterus, holy monkey.
Mike Litterus says, thinking of changing my sexuality now.
That's good. That's good.
Daniel says, my girl said he's so cute. They loving you. They loving you, Trey. And your name,
Man.
Trey Lewis. I mean, like,
It's just,
Yeah,
the guy's got it going on.
So
rolls
that
off the
comes
tongue.
from my full name is Robert Lewis Lindley III. Okay, but growing up, everybody called me Trey because I was a third. And Trey Lindley doesn't sound that great. Trey Lewis kind of sounds a little bit better, so I kind of went with like my nickname and my middle name, and that's what I got.
I love it. I think it's money, man. Look, guys, Trey's got some things coming in the works, like he's mentioned earlier. I am more than excited to have you on, man, and to get to know you and to talk to you and to understand more of who you are. And I told you when we talked privately, but I can't be more excited to see what you're going to do, man, and pray for you and be happy with whatever comes your way, dude. You deserve it. You're an awesome kid. He's 21 years old, ladies. Okay, so he's legal and ready to rock and ready to rattle.
Let's go.
Is Grace Shepherd? Is that your girlfriend?
Yeah.
She dropped some
Baby
hearts.
doll.
She dropped some hearts in the chat.
Baby doll.
She's showing some love.
Yeah.
Go say hi to everybody.
Come say hi, Grace. Hi, Grace.
Hi, Grace.
You got a superstar in your hands.
She can't.
Oh, she can't hear me.
Yeah, because I got the headphones.
You know how this works, Sheldon.
But-
Come on, man.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
That's how you do it. I was saying you got a superstar in your hands. Make sure you keep him tight. Keep him in the line.
He's one to keep on a lasso. That's for sure.
I love it. You guys
Love
are
it,
awesome.
Grace. Love it, Grace. You guys are great.
All right, buddy. Well, Trey, I appreciate you stopping by, man. We'll be in touch, and we'll be sure to keep our eye out for you wherever you go, man. And when like I said, when you come to Florida, we gotta get together, man.
Oh, that's a bet, bro, for sure.
All right, you guys
Appreciate you having me.
go check. Hey, Trey, plug your TikTok and plug your Instagram so people can go give you a follow and see your other stuff.
Okay, so I don't know how to do that. I'm like, I'll just say it.
Yeah. Just say it.
Okay. So Instagram is Trey from the Fae, Trey from the Fae, Fe. TikTok is Trey Lewis Music. Lewis is spelled Louis. And that's all I have. I just have the TikTok and the Instagram, no Twitter or nothing. But yeah, y'all go give me a like, give me a follow, and be much appreciated.
Awesome. And we just got a new subscriber, Chris Moore. So thank you, Chris, for subscribing. But yes,
There we
go show him a follow. Go show him some love and keep up with his journey on where it takes him, man. We'll be a big fan. We'll always
Awesome,
be
dude.
a fan of you, man. And
Yeah,
hopefully
appreciate
we'll have
it,
you on when
That
you're
was
big and famous. You'll come by the podcast again, man. You told me it was always
for
your dream to be on a
sure, man.
podcast. So here we go. We're
Yeah.
two dreams.
Yes.
Yeah, no. This was the podcast debut, and I think it went nice.
I think it went really well,
Amazing.
man. The people loved you, which I'm excited about, man. So thanks again for stopping by, big dog. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. No problem. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Later, Trey.
Yes, sir.
Bye, y'all.
Bro, Steve.
My man, he killed it. Killed it.
What I tell you?
Killed it.
What I tell you, bro?
Look, you kept him under wraps from me. You told me that we had somebody coming on tonight, and you told me that he was gonna do a little something for us a cappella, but you didn't tell me what I just saw. Like, you kept that from me.
Sometimes we gotta just keep everyone dialed in, Steve. All right, boys and girls, thank you for stopping by tonight on this late Sunday afternoon. You guys have an incredible week. We'll see you guys on Wednesday at 8:35. We're gonna be giving away the signed Judd Davis and Shane Edge, the plunge auto picture here, which is incredible. Mike Litteris is green now, which is great. You guys be safe. Have a great weekend. Tell the person next to you that you love them. We appreciate you guys as always. Stop by, becoming members, becoming subscribers. Always a pleasure. Till Wednesday, I'm Sheldon.
And I'm Holly.
Boogity, 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 baby. See you guys.
What it's like to be in debt, been stabbed in the back bed. I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show.